audio addicts? Jacob here with Generation Acoustics.com. And I'm coming at you with a question today, and that is, are odd-shaped rooms better than square or rectangular rooms for recording? So, in general, yes. Odd-shaped rooms are better for recording than square or rectangular rooms. Now, not always. I want to clarify that if you have a square room that has a rectangular cove in it, such as an entryway or let's say it was like a closet or even maybe a window section that's squared out, even a fireplace, those can cause problems. It creates what I like to call the cave effect. The cave effect is where you have a boosted low-end presence in the room because you have a square or rectangular cove or cave in the room. And what happens is corners, specifically 90-degree angle corners, build up low-end presence. And so if you have a cove or a corner space or an area that has a small rectangular section in the room, you're going to have low end build up in that area and project back out into the rest of the room. Now, let's say on the other end of the spectrum, you have odd shaped room, as in you have a trapezoid shaped room, or more than 4 walls, or you have walls that create slight angles, 15-degree angles, 45-degree angles, 70-degree angles, any type of thing that will prevent the reflections in the room from bouncing back and forth directly. So now we've talked about the pros and cons of the odd-shaped rooms. Let's look at square and rectangular rooms and why they can be problematic. The reason why square and rectangular rooms can cause a problem is not only are they like a big amplified version of the cave or the cove effect I told you, which means that in those 490-degree corners, you're going to have bass buildup occur. But you're also going to have walls that are directly across from one another that create direct reflections and phase issues. Whenever you have a peak of a sound wave coming off of one wall, and it encounters a peak of a sound wave coming off of another wall, and they meet one another at that peak, you're going to have a boost in presence or gain from that. Same thing when sounds reflect off of the wall and they're at a null of a wave and another one meets a null, you're going to have a dip in presence. Okay, so you can have basically, to speak in plain English, that can mean that you have different spots in the room that have different volume perception, that different frequencies sound louder. So that means over here you can hear a little more bass and a little more treble, and if you walk somewhere else you might hear less bass, but you might hear a little more high end and a little more shimmer. And so what happens is, with these untreated square and rectangular rooms, you have a lot of areas where the sound is represented differently in the room depending on where you're standing. And most likely, if you are in a corner, you're going to have bass buildup. So that's where diffusers come into play. Specifically, if you have a square room or a rectangular room, you can add diffusion into the room that is going to help prevent these direct reflections from causing phase issues. It will help spread the reflections out in the room more evenly, giving you a more even frequency distribution throughout the room, which means that whenever you record in different spots in the room or listen in different spots in the room, that everything's going to be represented more evenly and more accurately at all of these different locations. Same thing with absorption. Absorption will help decrease the effect of the phase issues by mitigating the amplitude of the wave. So for example, if you have a sound absorption panel on one wall and you have a sound absorption panel on the other wall, and the sound comes through the room and it encounters both acoustic panels and sound absorption panels, whenever they do hit each other, they are going to be at a lower velocity or a lower amplitude when they hit each other. For example, you will have a less powerful wave encountering a less powerful wave, making the perception of that problem less. This is why we like putting specifically in square or rectangular rooms, whether they're small or big, a combination of absorption and diffusion, so you get a best of both worlds effect. So, all in all, what's better? An odd room, an odd shaped, weird shaped room, or a square room? It really depends on the size, the amount of treatment you have in it, what kind of furniture's in there, the type of carpet that's in there. There's so many different things. But if we were looking at having a perfect shaped room, there are a lot of theories, and I would be happy to discuss in a later video what I think a perfectly shaped room is. But there are a lot of ways that you can make your room sound and work better for you, regardless of what you're doing in it, whether you are recording, mixing, mastering, just having conferences, teaching, speaking, creating content. There are a lot of ways that you can improve the acoustics of the entire room, whether it be square or rectangle or odd shaped. There are a lot of things that you can do, regardless of what specific setup you have, to improve it and improve the overall speech intelligibility and sonic clarity within the space. So I hope that helps. I know that there was a lot of hypotheticals in there. If you want to give your specific room dimensions and have one of our acoustic experts look over it and tell you what we think could be the best thing to improve your room, feel free to fill out a room analysis form in the link in the description below, and we will get back to it as soon as we have a chance. Thanks for watching, and tune in again soon for more to come.